trainer and I'm a registered yoga teacher. I use my background in sports medicine to design programs for athletes or active individuals. So today we're going to talk about shin splints. So as the weather gets nicer, we see more people outside running, and I wanted to give you a short little sequence that you can utilize as a preventative to keep the feet, the ankle, the shins feeling their best. So for today's practice, you will need a ball, so a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, even a soup can will work for the initial self-massage. But if you happen to have one of these tennis balls, lacrosse balls, even a golf ball will work too. So we're going to grab one of them, and all we're going to start with is some easy rolls of the sole of the foot. And if you find kind of an area that's a little tender or crunchy, we'll find a little bit more attention in that area. So I found a nice spot right in the center of my arch. So I'm going to actually pause here, apply a little bit of pressure, lift all 5 toes, and then curl the 5 toes in. Lift all 5 toes, and then curl them in. Lift, and then curl. Give a little bit more work to the sole of the foot. And as you can see, I'm kind of moving my foot in different directions to get kind of different edges. And then we're just going to shift this off to the opposite side. Before I do that, I'm going to take a little stagger stance, and I'm just going to rock outer edge, inner edge, just to connect with where my ankle, where the foot is in space. So we're just getting movement at the subtalar joint. So our ankle can kind of point flex and then roll in and roll out. When we think about ankle sprains, typically happens when we do this, roll the ankle out. So if we explore those ranges of motion, our body is a little bit more aware of them, and we can kind of put preventive measures in place to protect the ankle joint. So in other words, creating muscles and awareness to support those positions. All right, let's go to the opposite side. So same deal, we'll just move through some myofascial release on the sole of the foot and looking for areas of tenderness. So here's a good one. So I'm going to hang out in this spot, open the toes all the way up, so splay them out and then curl them in. Applying pressure, we can control how much. So we'll just take a few more. And then again, rolling out through the feet. So this is a great option pre-run or as part of your general self-care. Rest day, whenever this can fit into your schedule. All right, so we can move this off. We're going to take those ankle tilts that we just did on the opposite side, so a slight front to back stance, rolling outwards, rolling inwards, outwards, and inwards. Again, the aim of the game here is to explore the edges of those kind of end ranges of motion, because that's where usually our injuries happen, or at our end ranges of motion, the ones that we don't usually work or train in. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a short foot exercise. So really focusing your attention right at the arch. I'm going to allow my arch to kind of drop in, and then I'm going to shorten the arch by contracting the sole of the foot, the plantar fascia, that whole area. So we've got muscles that will curl the toes, we support the arch. We've got a muscle that runs right alongside the shin, the posterior tib, and it runs into under the sole of the foot. So we're working on strengthening the arch supports, the internal arch supports. So caving up, doming up through the arch. And then go ahead and lift all 5 toes and set them back down. Lift all 5 toes. Try to keep the toes kind of splayed out when you place them back down. Lift all 5 toes, releasing them down. Last one, lift all 5 toes and place them down. So we'll get short foot exercise on the other side. let my ankle kind of cave in, and then using the strength of my foot intrinsic muscles, big fancy word, posterior tibialis, to create that doming effect. And it's a small motion. So we're strengthening through our feet from the ground up. Last one here, and then we'll go back into the toe lift. So we'll lift all 5 toes, keep them splayed out as we lower them back down onto the ground or onto your mat. Lift all 5 toes, setting them back down. Lift. Set them back down. Last one, lift. And set them back down. All right, we're going to grab the ball that we just used, and we're going to place it right behind the ankle bone, and we're going to give the ankles and the heels a little squeeze in towards one another. So we're going to activate the posterior tibialis muscle right here that goes down alongside the shin bone and under the arch to support. So we're going to give a squeeze, and we're going to give a little bit of a toe raise or heel raise. So we'll try for 10, squeezing the ball. About 3 more, I think. I've lost count. And then we'll stop here. We'll keep squeezing at the ball, softening through the knees, lift up really tall through the crown of the head. And we're just going to come into a little mini squat. So float the arms up, and then we'll come up to mountain. Squeeze the ball, sit back, come up to tall mountain. 3 more here. Good, last one. So keeping our feet about inner hip distance apart, that's going to be different for everybody. We're going to lift up onto the balls of the feet, float the arms all the way up, and start to lower the hips, keep the back nice and tall. And we're going to come down into a tiptoe squat. So slow and controlled. Pause here. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to breathe the floor away, coming up to our mountain pose. Stepping the left foot back. We're going to tuck the pelvis in and up. Imagine as if the back of the head is pressing into a wall, ears stacking over the shoulders. We've got that pelvic tuck, head is pressing back, ears over the shoulders, and our shoulder blades are going to be right over the pelvis. So our shoulder blade bones here are going to be a nice straight shot to the pelvis. Float the arms up, take a breath in. Exhale, we'll lower, softening through the back knee. Maintain the length of the spine. Inhale, come up. Exhale, we'll lower. Inhale, will come up. And exhale, will lower. Last one, inhale, come up. Exhale, will lower. Take a breath in. Exhale, take the hands to frame the front foot. We're going to step back into our push-up plank. Pressing hands into the ground, rounding just a bit through the upper back. Let's take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to walk the hands back towards the heels. Pressing into the shins, long spine, flat back. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale to a flat back. Gaze stays down, exhale, we'll fold. Begin to walk ourselves back into our push-up plank. And we'll take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come forward into plank, lean forward, breath in. Exhale, breath out. Breath in. And breath out. Take a breath in, up onto the balls of the feet. Bend through the knees, gaze forward. We're going to step to the front of the mat and find our forward fold. Now notice my knees are going to stay soft. We'll sweep to the left, sweep to the right. And then we're going to inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach up over the top of the head. And then come to heart center as you breathe out. front of your mat, let's go ahead and sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Press into the shins, long through the spine. Exhale, we'll fold. Step back into your push-up plank. And we'll take our left foot and take the toes to hook right onto the Achilles. We'll get a nice little stretch, rock front to back. Keep the gaze down. Come to stillness. As we take a nice breath in, we'll sweep that top leg out to the side, drop the knee. We'll keep the toes tucked as we take a few hip rock backs to get into the hip and groin. So taking 3 or 4, untuck those back toes. We're going to use the strength of our glutes to inhale and lift, sweep the leg back. Toes will stay down. We'll pause here, breath in. Breath out, reach the right hand out. Inhale, knee to the nose. Exhale, we'll reach. Inhale, knee to the nose. Exhale, we'll reach. Inhale, knee to the nose. Exhale, we'll reach. Place the right hand down. Take the left toes down. And we'll just, again, shift front to back. Just getting into the toes. And then flipping the toes downwards, we'll just give a gentle press downwards into the mat, keeping the hips square. Take one more breath in, and breath out. Bend through the knees, sit back onto the heels. We're just going to take the fingertips out to stretch through our wrists. We're not used to bearing weight through the hands and the wrist in yoga. Sometimes they can get a little tired. Come forward, we're going to do the other side. So we're going to step into our push-up plank. Right toes are going to hook onto the left Achilles. Get a little shift. Come to stillness. We'll sweep that right leg out towards the side. Drop the knee. We'll keep those toes tucked. Shift the hips back. Last one, coming into our gate pose variation. Engage the glutes, sweep the right leg back, keep the toes spinning down. Breath in, breath out. Reaching the left hand out, take an inhale, draw the knee, elbow inwards, reach it out. Exhale in, reach out, inhale. Exhale. Come on back. Place the left hand down. We'll take the toes to come down onto our mat. Gentle stretch through the sole of the foot. We'll shift front to back. And then flipping the toes, pressing onto the top of the foot. Gentle press downwards into the ground. Lengthen through the neck, breathing fully and deeply here. Take the knee down. We'll sit back onto the heels. Come up into a tall kneeling shape. And we're just going to take one round of Camel Pose, so to stretch through the entire front side of the body. Tuck the toes, or you can keep them flat. We're going to find that alignment of head pressing back so that the ears are over the shoulders. Tailbone is going to drop down heavy. The belly button is going to pull in and up. Take a breath in. Exhale out, supporting the low back. We'll lift and lengthen one more time. Exhale. We'll take a little baby back bend, but there should be no pain here. If there's pain, back up out of the pose and reset. Breath in. Breath out. As you breathe in. Exhale, we can sit back into Hero's Pose. All right, let's finish up this short sequence for our shin splints. And as you can tell, we're addressing pretty much everything in the lower extremity because nothing works in isolation. So we want to make sure that we have really good hip mobility, and we also want to make sure we have strength in the soles of the feet. So let's work on finishing up this sequence. Good. So we're going to come on forward. And we're going to step the right leg back, the left leg back. Make sure you have some space. Breath in and breath out, downward facing dog. Coming up onto the balls of the feet. Bend through the knees, gaze forward. We're going to step to the front of the mat and find our forward fold. Take the hands to the shin. I want you to straighten through the left leg. Lift the body, look over the left shoulder. Call it a windmill. Inhale, reset, exhale towards the right. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Last one, inhale, exhale. Come back to the center, take one more breath in. And then as you exhale, forward fold, step the right leg back, drop the knee. We're going to come up into our kneeling lunge. So in our kneeling lunge, sometimes we have this expectation that it should look like this deep lunge. Okay? We're actually doing all of our hip muscles a disservice. So back up that kneeling lunge, nice and tall. Press your back foot down into the ground. Get that tucking of the tailbone. Ears are stacking over the shoulders. Float the arms up. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Pause. From your hip creases, we're going to reach the crown of the head forward, rotate the center of the chest towards the long edge of our mat, and tap the elbow onto the knee in our twisting lunge. Reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, we might find a little more space to twist. Another breath here. And exhale out. Last breath in. As you exhale, place your hands on either side of the front foot. We're going to tuck the back toes. We're going to shift the hips back. And then we'll rock forward. Inhale. And then exhale up. Last one. Inhale. So the toes can point or the toes can come upwards. Find what feels good for your body today. Let's place the hands to frame the front foot. We'll pick up the back knee. Inhale. Exhale, step back to push-up plank. Squeezing the elbows to the ribs. We're going to lower all the way onto the belly. Untuck the toes. Breathe into baby cobra. Exhale, we'll lower. Tuck all 10 toes. Press up onto bent knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right foot forward. This time the left knee is down, so you should be on the opposite side, right? And then we're going to come up nice and tall. Check out the stance here. We've got that pelvic tilt happening. We've got lightness up through the top of the head. Ears are stacking. Float the arms up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breath in. Gentle press of that back foot downwards into the mat or into the floor. Last breath in. And breath out. Hands to heart center. Lifting up to the crown of the head. And from the hip creases, we're going to hinge forward. And then taking the center of the chest, we're going to rotate it towards the opposite long edge of the mat, tapping the knee with the elbow. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Breath in. And breath out. Last one. Breath in. And breath out. Hands will place or find their way around the front foot. Tuck your back toes. Shift forward. Toes can point. Come forward. Toes can flex. Half splits. Forward. Last one. Good. Place the hands down. Pick up the back knee. We're going to inhale. Step back to push-up plank. Pause here. Take an inhale. This time, squeeze elbows lower halfway. Open up through the chest. Untuck the toes. This is up dog. So the thighs are lifting. I have space between my ankles. Take another inhale. Exhale. Lift the hips up towards the sky. Find downward facing dog. Give the head and neck a little shake. Lift up onto the balls of the feet. Bend the knees. Gaze forward. Let's step to the front of the mat. Our forward fold. And then slowly roll all the way up to standing. Hands to heart practice with a little breath work. So we'll take our hands right to the lower ribs. So we'll create this little C shape with our hands. Find what feels like the lowest part of our ribs. Nice tall spine. Checking in with our alignment. Breathing in here, the low part of the ribs. Breathe with me for a count of 3. Inhale. Pause at the top of your breath. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last one. Breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Keep up and practice. All these shapes will flow and get easier the more that you practice them. But really focusing on the strength of the feet, mobility in the hips can really make a huge difference when we're looking to prevent, prehab, or even rehabilitate some really nagging shin splints. So I hope you enjoyed today's practice. My name is Jen, and don't forget to subscribe and follow up for all